This is an incredibly tough thing because obviously my initial reaction would be Carmelo Anthony does deserve to be on the first team. I think he was a top 2 league MVP candidate. I watched him all season long, carry the New York Knicks on his back. This dude averaged 28.7 points a game, shot 44% from the field, 83% from the free throw line, had about 6.9 rebounds per game. But more importantly, most nights he wasn't just the Knicks' primary offensive option. Half the time he was their only offensive option because even though J.R. Smith is the 6th man of the year, anybody that watches J.R. Smith plays knows that he's a roller coaster ride. He has hot streaks and he has really, really bad streaks. So he had an up and down season. It's just that he exploded. When he exploded, it was big. But when he plummeted big time as well. But Carmelo Anthony obviously was up there. The problem is that if you're going by position to mention the first team, 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center, then I can't make the argument for him because even though I believe he's first team caliber, Skip, Dante, I don't believe he deserves to be there ahead of LeBron James or Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant led the Oklahoma City Thunder to 60 wins. You want to sit there and say he had Russell Westbrook for the entire regular season. That's the best argument you can make. But he averaged 28 points. He shot 51% from the field, which was 7 percentage points better than Carmelo Anthony. Obviously, he took less shots to score almost nearly as many points, not to mention the fact that he shot more than 90% from the free throw line, 41% from three-point range. Kevin Durant was balling all season long. And so for me, he doesn't deserve to be there ahead of LeBron and Kevin Durant, but he's had a first-team caliber season. So I'm at a loss. I really am because of the positions.
What do you think, Dante?
I agree with you, Stephen. And one, if I were to answer it from an aesthetic point of view, like of who is harder to guard, who I think is more dominant, I would have said that Kevin Durant deserved to be second team and Carmelo deserved to be on the first team.
Wow. But
then when I go back and I look at efficiency and who had better numbers and who dominated more areas of the game, then you got to go Kevin Durant. So I'm kind of torn, but I think that my initial would be Carmelo deserves to be first team, but he has to be on the second team because Kevin Durant put up crazy numbers. He was efficient, and he led them to 60 wins. So, yes, I agree with you.
Okay, let me ask Dante this question. If we're just doing numbers like both of you have just said, made great cases for, you have to go with Kevin Durant. He even joined that exclusive 50-40-90 club, 50% field, 40 from 3, and 90+ from free throw line. Only 6 players have done that before Kevin joined the club. Okay, but I step back and I say, who would I want on my team? Who is the better all-around player? And I can make now I'm a prisoner of the moment of the playoffs because I thought Kevin failed miserably in the last 4 games against Memphis. But Melo didn't do so great either against Indiana in his last 4 fourth quarters, especially the last fourth quarter, the closeout game. So who's the better player in your opinion? If you had to choose a teammate.
I'm biased. So Carmelo. I think Carmelo's the better player. I think he's more dominant.
But you're not biased. Why would you?
Because he was my teammate. And
okay.
He was my teammate, and I know how he works in person. I've seen him through adversity. But I think he's the most dominant scorer. He's the most dominant scorer in our game. So, yes, that's why I think aesthetically he should be on the first team. But when I go to numbers, that's the only thing that sways me a little bit because of his efficiency. And Kevin Durant was off the charts efficiency-wise.
Yeah. Okay, so Stephen A., back to you. Just so you get this, the issue becomes Kevin Durant has had Russell Westbrook. And you can argue that Melo has only had J.R. Smith coming off the bench, who was the 6th man of the year, but hasn't had all that much more help than that. So my question back to you, Stephen A., is that a fair assessment? The big picture, Melo is starting to prove to be the better player than Kevin Durant.
No, I don't think he's starting to prove he's the better player. I think he's proven that he can be a better scorer. But when you look at the versatility that Kevin Durant displayed, in terms of, the assist, the rebounding, the kind of things that he can turn up a notch whenever he wants to. It didn't seem to be as much of a struggle for him to go in that direction as it was at times for Carmelo Anthony. That's not to take anything away from Carmelo Anthony. It could very well be due to the team that Carmelo Anthony was playing with and who he was trying to lead, whereas Kevin Durant had more options. Because let me tell you something. Reggie Jackson, Kevin Martin, and those guys, even though they're no James Harden, There's no Russell Westbrook. There's certainly a better supporting cast, at least offensively, than what the Knicks had. I can promise you that.